ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome everyone. So there was a long gap due to Janmashtami festivals. So after a long gap we are meeting. So we have started the Bhagavad Gita reading and we are going through page to page. So we are in the introduction part. I think already we have covered 3 classes. This is the 4th class. So I'll share my screen. So far we have covered till this section. We'll continue from where we have left. So in the next section, Prabhupada is mentioning about the subject matters which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. The subject of the Bhagavad Gita entails the comprehension of 5 basic truths. First of all, the science of God is explained, and then the constitutional position of the living entities, jivas. There is Ishvara, which means controller. There are jivas, the living entities, which are controlled. If a living entity says that he is not controlled but that he is free, then he is insane. The living being is controlled in every respect, at least in his conditioned life. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, the subject matter deals with the Ishvara, the supreme controller, and the Jivas, the controlled living entities, Prakriti, material nature, and time, the duration of existence of the whole universe or the manifestation of material nature, and karma, activities, are also discussed. The cosmic manifestation is full of different activities. All living entities are engaged in different activities. From Bhagavad Gita, we must learn what God is, what the living entities are, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, and how it is controlled by time, and what the activities of the living entities are. So these are the 5 subject matters which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. That is Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Prakriti. So Ishvara is the Supreme Lord. Jivas are all the living entities. Then Prakriti is the material energy with which everything we see is manifested. All our bodies and all the non-living things, whatever we see, living and non-living, whatever we see, it is all manifestation of the material energy of Krishna, which is called Prakriti or Apara Prakriti, inferior nature. And the living entities, they are the Para Prakriti or the superior nature. And Krishna is there as the supreme controller, even in this material world. Then it is under the control of time. So everything here, the living entities and the material nature, both are under the control of time. And the living entities are engaged in different kind of activities, which are called karma. These are the 5 primary subject matters which are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, and Prakriti. So beyond this, nothing exists in this material existence. So in the spiritual world, there is no karma, there is no material nature. There are living entities, there is time, and there is the Supreme Lord. But here in this material world, the living entities are covered by the material energy, by different bodies, lower forms or higher forms, and they are engaged in different kinds of activities which are producing different fruits. And to enjoy or suffer that fruits, again they have to accept another material body. So it goes on in a kind of a chain or a cycle where they have to go on accepting different kinds of material bodies based on their activities. Out of these 5 basic subject matters in Bhagavad Gita, It is established that the Supreme Godhead, or Krishna, or Brahman, or the Supreme Controller, or Paramatma, you may use whatever name you like, is the greatest of all. So Krishna is the greatest of all, and Krishna is also called by different names, by different transcendentalists. Somebody call him as Brahman. Those who have not realized beyond Brahman, they think that Brahman is the supreme. Somebody who does not know the name of Krishna, they may call him as the supreme controller or the supreme Godhead, or somebody calls him as Paramatma. In all the cases, uh, Krishna, who is called by all these different nomenclature, he is the greatest of all out of these five. So greatest means everything else is under his control. The jiva is under his control, time is under his control, prakriti is under his control, and even karma, it is under his control, in the sense that Krishna can nullify anybody's karma. The living beings are in quality like the supreme controller. For instance, the Lord has control over the universal affairs, over material nature, etc., as will be explained in the later chapters of Bhagavad-gita. Material nature is not independent. She is acting under the directions of the Supreme Lord. So all these things we will see in different shlokas where Krishna describes. Just like this one, Mayadhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sa Characharam. So under my supervision, under my adhyakshata, this material nature is working. So material nature is not independent. She is under the directions of the Supreme Lord. And for the Lord has control over the universal affairs. So that also we will see in many places. Krishna declares his supremacy over everything that exists in different shlokas. As Lord Krishna says, Prakriti is working under my direction. When we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there is a controller. Nothing could be manifested without being controlled. It is childish to consider, it is childish not to consider the controller. For instance, a child may think that an automobile is quite wonderful, to be able to run without a horse or other animal pulling it. But a sane man knows the nature of the automobile's engineering arrangement. He always knows that behind the machinery there is a man, a driver. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is a driver under whose direction everything is working. So, when we see wonderful things happening in the cosmic nature, we should know that behind this cosmic manifestation, there is a controller. So we see wonderful things in this world. We are just seeing the earth. We are on the surface of the earth, not the complete earth globe also. So it is having such a big diameter. So there are so much inside the earth, but we have no information beyond certain distance. If we dig, the scientists have gone only up to a certain distance. They have not even gone to the complete inside of the earth, what is there. So we are living only on the surface of the earth. We know only the surface. And the sky also, it is also unlimited. We have no access because we are bound, we are limited to this planet. So although there is so many planets exist, but we don't have access, we cannot go there. So we are limited. So we are conditioned to this earth. And within this earth, we see there are so many wonderful things happening. How the life is running here, that itself is a big wonder. So how the living beings take birth, and how different bodies exist, and each body is having different uh, uh, functioning and different architecture. We have this human body. We just eat food. That's all. How the food is digested, how I get the energy, how my organs grow from birth, how the heart is working, kidneys, everything. So we have no information. We have not set up this machine, that if I eat, food should get digested like this, energy should come like this, blood should flow like this, heart should beat like this. We have not made any of these arrangements. We are knowing only, we have experience only of the senses, eyes, then nose, ears, skin, tongue, and some working senses. We have actually, that is the soul which is having these senses. the working senses and the knowledge acquiring senses. And this machine is given, which is replica or um, uh, what the spiritual body exists in the material world. A similar body made of material nature are given to the living entities. And the living entities identify themselves with these bodies and go on uh, in the false enjoyment of the material senses. And apart from this body, there are so many living entities, their entire construction, and this entire universe itself. How this earth is revolving around the sun, moon is revolving around the earth, so many planets are there, they are also revolving around the sun, and this entire system is under one galaxy. Like that, there are unlimited galaxies. So there is no limit to the universe. And if you go deeper into the atom, any particular material you take, so the scientists have discovered they are all made of different atoms. If you break the atom again, there is neutrons, protons, electrons, and so far they have gone up to that. And maybe after a few years they will again break and say that inside this also there are some more. So either you go deeper into the macro level, the universal scale, it is unlimited. And if you go to the micro level, even at the atom or electrons level also, there also they are not able to find where it ends. If they go on searching the sky, where it ends, they have no idea. If they go on searching inside the matter, if they go up to atomic level or uh, nuclear level, they don't find where it ends. So this is a wonderful creation, and how different living beings are taking birth, they are growing, and how different things are happening in our bodies, in other bodies. So it is a very, very wonderful creation. And if somebody thinks that such a wonderful creation which is there and there is no controller, then such a person will be an insane man. He will be a foolish person or a childish person. Here Prabhupada is giving an example. Somebody who is intelligence is not developed. A child means his intelligence is not yet developed. So such a person, such a child may think when he sees some car or plane or uh, train when it is moving. So he may think that it is moving automatically. But an intelligent man, a grown-up person knows that behind that there is a pilot, there is a driver. So he is running it, therefore it is flying or moving. So those who are like children or those whose intelligence is not developed, those who are insane, ignorant, they may think that so there is no controller. But those who have developed intelligence, they will understand that anything which is wonderful. So there has to be some kind of wherever there is an order. We also see there is an order in this universe, just like the earth is rotating on its own axis and then it is rotating around the sun. So many planets are there. Moon is there. Moon is rotating around the earth. And all the thing, whatever we even we are able to connect online, there are different laws which are working, laws of electronics, laws of magnetics. So many laws are working, and the scientists, they just discover these laws which are already existing, which not that they have created, and then they are manipulating the metal energy, and they are calling that as an advancement. But actually they are just utilizing what is given by God, the laws created by God, and the material energy which is already given to them by Krishna. So any sane man, any intelligent man can understand that wherever there is a order, wherever there is a wonderful thing, there is a creator behind that. Whenever we see some nice painting, then the first question which comes into our mind is, oh, who is the painter? So in the nature, there are so many wonderful things Krishna has painted, so nice flowers, so many nice birds, so many beautiful animals. So the natural conclusion is somebody has created these things. So those who are childish, those who intelligence is not developed, they may think that it is happening on its own. It is also, Prabhupada gives example of a Kupa Manduka Nyaya or frog inside the well. So the frog which is living inside the well, it has got no information of the outside world. What happens in the outside world? A deep well, inside that there is a frog. It has never come out of the well. It has not seen the outside world. What to speak of ocean? So it has no information of ocean. And if somebody tells him that you are living in this water, So like this, there is a very big ocean. It is so big, it is so vast. And because that is just living in that well only, it has got no information of the outside world. So it cannot imagine how much big that ocean is. So it may be thinking that, okay, my well is 5 feet, so ocean may be 10 feet, or maybe 20 feet, or maximum 100 feet. So this is called Kupamanduka, or the frog inside the well. It has got no brain to understand how vast the ocean is. Similarly, those who have not developed their intelligence, they may find it difficult to comprehend that a person can be in control of such a huge manifestation. But those who are developed intelligence, they can understand that everything requires a controller, and there can be a supreme controller. Just like we can control a lot of things. Similarly, there are higher living entities who can control more than me. Now, the jivas or the living entities have been accepted by the Lord, as we will note in the later chapters, as his parts and parcels. So the living entities, we are all amshas, or parts and parcels of Krishna. That Krishna tells in the 7th chapter, Mamaivamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, eternal amshas. A particle of gold is also gold. A drop of water from the ocean is also salty. And similarly, we the living entities, being part and parcel of the Supreme Controller, Ishvara or Bhagavan, Lord Shri Krishna, have all the qualities of the Supreme Lord in minute quantity, because we are minute Ishvaras, subordinate Ishvaras. So this is an important thing which we should understand. Is an important tattva, which is called oneness at the same time different. Achintya bheda abheda. Inconceivably one and different. So that is the relationship or the nature of the living entity and Krishna. The nature of living entity and Krishna is they are one at the same time different. So one in quality, different in quantity. So that is how we are related. And we are one in quality because we are all parts of Krishna. So whatever qualities Krishna has got, primarily divided into three, which is called Sat, Chit and Ananda, which is eternity, no death, and full of consciousness or knowledge. And the third is Ananda, or being blissful. So these three qualities which are common between Krishna and the living entities, because the living entities are part and parcel or amsha of Krishna. Here Prabhupada is giving example. Particle of gold is also gold. So gold mine, from the gold mine you take out gold, and in that you take out one small particle. And that particle is having the same quality of the entire that gold mine, or the gold which is there in the gold mine. So because it is one part of that entire gold mine, it is also having the same qualities of the gold. But in quantity, it is very small, tiny particle, maybe few milligrams or lesser than that. And in the gold mine, there are tons of gold. So in quality, it is same, but in quantity, it is different. Prabhupada is giving another example of ocean. So the salt ocean, uh, the entire ocean is also salty. And if you just take one drop and taste it, that drop is also salty. So in quality, both are salty, but in quantity, drop is just a small one, which I can take it in my finger, or but the ocean, it is I cannot measure. It is not in my capacity to measure the ocean. So that is the difference and similarities between Krishna and the living entities. And as Krishna is called Ishvara, or the controller, because we are part and parcel of Krishna, we also have got this ability to control things. But we are subordinate controllers or subordinate Ishvaras. That we can see in our daily life. We all have control over something, my family or my office, the team working which is under me. So some level of control, all the living entities, they have different degrees of controls. According to their karma, they get different degrees of controlling capacity. But Krishna, he is the supreme controller. He is not dependent on any kind of karma to become the controller. He is eternally the controller. The living entities, they can also control in the material world based on their karma. They get different. Somebody can become the prime minister of the country, and he have control over the entire population. So 140 crore people. he can decide some policy and everybody has to accept that. We are trying to control nature as presently we are trying to control space or planets. And this tendency to control is there because it is in Krishna. But although we have a tendency to lord it over material nature, we should know that we are not the supreme controller. This is explained in Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita tells us that you are not the supreme controller. Although we have got the tendency to control because it is there in Krishna, but we are not the supreme controllers. We are controller and controlled. But Krishna is only controller. He is not controlled. Everything is under his control. So this was about Ishvara and Jiva. And next is about material nature. What is material nature? This is also explained in Gita as inferior prakriti or inferior nature. The living entity is explained as the superior prakriti. Prakriti is always under control, whether inferior or superior. Prakriti is female and she is controlled by the Lord, just as the activities of a wife are controlled by the husband. Prakriti is always subordinate, predominated by the Lord, who is the predominator. The living entities and material nature are both predominated, controlled by the Supreme Lord. According to the Gita, the living entities, although parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are to be considered Prakriti. This is clearly mentioned in the 7th chapter, 5th verse of Bhagavad Gita. Apareyam itastu anyam. This Prakriti is my lower nature. Prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho ya edam dharyate jagat. And beyond this, there is another Prakriti, jiva bhutam, the living entity. So here Prakriti is described. The Prakriti is the inferior nature, material Prakriti, and the living entities, they are the superior energy of Krishna. That here Prabhupada is quoting from the 7th chapter. Apareyam itastvanyam prakritim vidhi me param. So apara prakriti. So apara prakriti is the living entities. Apara is the material energy. Para prakriti is the living entities. Jiva bhutam. They are my para prakriti. And both are called prakriti. So prakriti means which is under control, which is subordinate, which is predominated. And Krishna is called the Purusha or the supreme predominator or the supreme enjoyer. So that is the position of Krishna. And both the material energy or apara prakriti and the living entities which are called para prakriti. So both are under the control of Krishna. Prakriti itself is constituted of three qualities. So here, the Prakriti what we are discussing is the para prakriti is jivas, the living entities which are already discussed, which are having the same quality as Krishna, but quantity is different. And the Prakriti here which we are discussing is the material nature, material energy. And this material energy is constituted of the three qualities, which is mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. So Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. So these three modes, the Prakriti is constituted of. And above these modes, there is eternal time. And by a combination of these modes of nature and under the control and purview of eternal time, there are activities which are called karma. So above Prakriti, there is time. And the living entities, we are engaged inside this Prakriti, having different material bodies. And they are engaged in different kind of activities. And all this is under the supervision of time. Within this material world, the external manifestation of Krishna is the time. Time is this external manifestation. And Krishna is not present, visible in front of everybody, but he is there in everybody's heart as Paramatma. But it is not possible for the living entities to directly see Krishna unless they are purified. Only when they are purified, they can have access to Krishna within their heart, and also they can see Krishna's manifestation in the entire material energy also. So as long as they are conditioned, so they have no direct access to Krishna, but they are controlled externally by the representation of Krishna in the form of the time, the Kala. So Kala controls all our activities. All the happiness and distress is awarded by Kala only. Time gives us at different intervals our due happiness and distress which we have earned by our previous activities. And also it takes a note of all the activities what we are doing, and those results are awarded in the future. So all the activities are under the purview of this time factor, which is uh, representation of Krishna. Krishna's representative in Bhagavad Gita we see Kalosmyaham Lokakshayakrit Pravruddho. Krishna tells that I am the time eternal. These activities are being carried out from time immemorial, and we are suffering or enjoying the fruits of our activities. So from when we are engaged in this karma or fruitive activities, we cannot trace back. Anadi karma phale it is said. Anadi means we cannot trace back when we entered into this material world. So it's almost like eternity because it is going on from immemorial time. Therefore, they are called eternally conditioned because it's from so long time the living entities are there in the material world. So their activities are also going on from time immemorial. For instance, suppose I am a businessman and have worked very hard with intelligence and have amassed a great bank balance. Then I am an enjoyer. But then say I have lost all my money in business. Then I am a sufferer. Similarly, in every field of life, we enjoy the results of our work or we suffer the results. This is called karma. So karma means either we enjoy or suffer the result of our work. So that is called karma. Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, Jiva, the living entity, Prakriti, nature, eternal time, and karma, the activities, are all explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Out of these five, the Lord, the living entity, material nature, and time are eternal. So out of five, four are eternal. Except karma, the other four are eternal, means they exist always. Krishna exists, living entity exists, time exists, and material nature also in its different manifestation. It may undergo transformation. At the time of destruction, the entire material energy winds up and becomes Mahat Tattva and enters the body of Mahavishnu. And again, when the creation takes place, again the material energy is transformed into different universes, and again Brahmanda, and within the Brahmanda, different planetary systems, then living entities, the bodies of the living entities. So that way, material nature is undergoing transformation, but still the material nature always exists in different form. But this karma, it is not eternal because as soon as one surrenders to Krishna, his karma gets nullified. So that way, this karma is not eternal. So it can be made zero. The manifestation of Prakriti may be temporary, but it is not false. Some philosophers say that the manifestation of material nature is false. But according to the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita or according to the philosophy of the Vaishnavas, this is not so. The manifestation of the world is not accepted as false. It is accepted as real but temporary. It is likened unto a cloud which moves across the sky, or the coming of the rainy season which nourishes grains. As soon as the rainy season is over and as soon as the cloud goes away, all the crops which were nourished by the rain dry up. Similarly, this material manifestation takes place at a certain interval, stays for a while, and then disappears. Such are the workings of Prakriti, but this cycle is working eternally. Therefore, Prakriti is eternal. It is not false. So here one important point to note. There are some kind of philosophers called Mayavadis who say that everything is Maya. Maya means that which does not exist or illusory or which is not real. So they say that this world is not real. This world does not exist. It is all under illusion. But that is not the verdict of Bhagavad Gita or Krishna's instructions. So this material energy, it is real. It is not unreal or it is not illusory. But how I perceive this, I may be under illusion. The living entity is under illusion. But this world is not illusion. This we have to understand. Mayavadis say that this world itself is illusion. But the real fact is, world is not illusion. I am under illusion. And I am thinking that this world is meant for my enjoyment. So that is the illusion. And the living entity comes to its senses and understands that this energy, material energy, and myself both belongs to Krishna, and our duty is to engage in Krishna's service. Then he is enlightened, or he is seeing things as they are. When he is in illusion, he thinks that, oh, I am the enjoyer. So this entire material energy, resources, they all are meant for my satisfaction, for my enjoyment. So such mentality is illusion, or that is Maya. This world or this existence, that is not illusory. It may undergo transformation, it may undergo creation, maintenance, and destruction, but that is not false. That is not illusion. How I read it, that is illusion. That means the living entities, they are in illusion. The Prakriti or the material nature, that is not illusion. That is a false theory of the Mayavadis. The Lord refers to this as my Prakriti. This material nature is the separated energy of the Supreme Lord. And similarly, the living entities are also the energy of the Supreme Lord. But they are not separated, they are eternally related. So, the Lord, the living entity, material nature, and time are all interrelated and are all eternal. However, the other item, karma, is not eternal. The effects of karma may be very old indeed. We are suffering or enjoying the results of our activities from time immemorial. But we can change the results of our karma or our activity, and this change depends on the perfection of our knowledge. We are engaged in various activities. Undoubtedly, we do not know what sort of activities we should adopt to gain relief from the actions and reactions of all these activities, but this is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. So here the same point is reiterated again, that karma is not eternal. So the karma, the effects of karma can be nullified. Uh, that depends on perfection of our knowledge. If we get enlightened, then by the mercy of Krishna, the karma, the effects of karma can be nullified. Krishna tells in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayashyami. And also in the Brahma Samhita, it is said that Karmani Nirdhati Kintucha Bhakti Bhajam. So Bhakti Bhajam, those who are engaged in devotional service, all their karma, they get burnt. Karmani Nirdhati. So that way, the resultant reactions of our work, I would have committed some sinful activities in the past, and I am awaiting some kind of reaction for that. But that reaction is not eternal. If I engage in devotional service, all the accumulated reaction of my past activities can at once be burnt. So therefore, karma is not eternal. Prakriti is eternal, living entity, we are eternal, time is eternal, and Krishna is eternal. So all these things we will see in different sections of Bhagavad Gita. The position of Ishvara is that of supreme consciousness. The jivas, or the living entities, being parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, are also conscious. Both the living entities and material nature are explained as Prakriti, the energy of the Supreme Lord. But one of the two, the Jiva, is conscious. The other, Prakriti, is not conscious. That is the difference. So now here Prabhupada is explaining what is the difference between the material energy and the living entity. Why it is called, one is called a superior energy, one is called a inferior energy. So the reason one is superior, one is inferior is because one is having consciousness, the other is not having consciousness. And we are directly related with Krishna as his part and parcel, and we have the same quality as Krishna. And because Krishna is having consciousness, the living entities, they also have consciousness. And material energy, being the separated energy of Krishna, it is not having consciousness. Therefore, it is called the inferior energy. So this table, chair, laptop, all other things, whatever we see, air, mud, they don't have consciousness. The living entities, we have consciousness. And when the living entity leaves this body also becomes dead. It becomes same like this table. No consciousness, no feelings, no emotions, no intelligence. no sensory abilities. So all those things were belonging to the soul. As soon as the soul leaves the body, so this body is just becomes like a dead matter. Although all the uh, different angas, the limbs, different body limbs are there, eyes are there, tongue is there, nose is there, ears are there, which were using, which were being used by the living entity before some time for all the sensory purposes, seeing, touching, smelling, tasting, hearing. Although everything exists, but the experiencer is not there. Who was experiencing all these things, who was having the consciousness, that person has left the body. That living entity has gone from this body. Then although this body is intact, but the consciousness is not there. Therefore, it cannot use this material senses also. So that is the difference between living entity and the material nature. So material nature is not having consciousness, and the living entity, they have consciousness. Therefore, the Jiva Prakriti is called superior because the Jiva has consciousness which is similar to the Lord's. The Lord's is supreme consciousness, however, and one should not claim that the Jiva, the living entity, is also supremely conscious. So here, the difference, how we saw the difference between living entity and Krishna as with the example of a gold particle and gold mine, or a drop of water in the ocean and the entire ocean. In the same way, the consciousness is also the consciousness which is present in the living entity, it is local. So the Jiva is conscious only of itself. It is not conscious of everything, all the other living entities. It does not know what is happening in the bodies of other living entities. And Krishna is supremely conscious, means his consciousness is spread everywhere. Just like my consciousness is spread only within my body. I can experience only what is happening in my body. I cannot experience what is happening in all your bodies because my consciousness is limited only to this body. But Krishna is present in as Paramatma in my body also, your body also. So he knows everything that is happening in my body, your body, everybody's body. So that is the difference between consciousness of individual living entity and Krishna. So he is supremely conscious, and we are tiny consciousness, minute consciousness. We are local only to ourselves. I have no information of what is happening in other bodies. And Prabhupada also explains that how this conscious energy and the energy which is having no consciousness, with the example of our own body. Just like in our body, we have got nails and hairs. So these nails and hairs, they don't have consciousness. If you cut, nothing happens. We don't feel. So although it is part of my body only, but still some portions of my body, just like my hand is there or any other part is there, they are having consciousness. If something cut happens, I feel. But I have got some parts within my body, just like nails and hairs, they have no consciousness. So similarly, Krishna also has got one energy which is called superior energy, the living entities, we all who are having consciousness, and Krishna is having another energy which is called material energy, which is not having consciousness. The living being cannot be supremely conscious at any stage of his perfection. And the theory that he can be so is a misleading theory. So there are some kind of philosophers uh, who say that now you are tiny consciousness, and when you become perfect, you will become supremely conscious. But that is not true. That is not the real Siddhanta. So the living entity, it can never be in a state where it will become supremely conscious. So supremely conscious means it is becoming, it is saying like you will become God. So that is never the case. That is not the truth. That is not the reality. The reality is we are tiny living entities. We will eternally remain as a tiny living entity with minute consciousness. Conscious he may be, but he is not perfectly or supremely conscious. So that is the difference between Krishna and the living entity. Krishna is supremely conscious. We have got tiny consciousness. So we'll stop here. If there are any questions connected to today's topic, or we can also do a small review of what all we understood today. Anybody has got any questions? Can somebody tell some points what we understood today, what all we read. You can volunteer or I will ask somebody. Okay, Ashish.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Manikanta.
I understand from today verse is one. Whatever the past karmas will vanish by the devotion of Lord Krishna.
Yes.
It's really I have no idea about those things. Actually, we have to complete the karmas and then only everything will happen. Now, if God will give God is a super power actually. He can do anything if we follow as a God devotee, as a Lord Krishna devotee, and we do service. I understand that one. It's really interesting, Prabhu. Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Just like within this material world also, we have got example of sometimes a president can pardon a criminal. He is hanged. He is given a punishment that he should be hanged until death. But president has got the power. If he wishes, then he can uh, relieve him from that punishment. So the same way, Krishna being the supreme controller, if we surrender to Krishna, he can nullify all our past sinful reactions.
Yes. Thanks, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, anybody wants to point out anything else what we learned today? Ashish?
In this material world,
Okay.
we are not. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
As per my understanding, we need to path towards the Krishna conscious on daily, regularly basis. This material world will be only like giving the our at present happiness, and
Yes,
it won't
temporary.
be
Temporary
it won't
happiness.
be. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
It won't be the avoiding the rebirth, and it won't be the giving the permanent happiness. One or other day we get the sadness due to this material world, due to this relationships. All these things we attach at those things. One or other day, finally, we are getting the dissatisfaction or disappointed from that. In this Krishna consciousness, we're getting the countless endless happiness.
Yes. So this world is called a world of duality. So both happiness and miseries we have to experience in this world. But when we surrender to Krishna, then we start experiencing eternal happiness or blissful life. Okay, we discussed about the 5 factors which are discussed in Bhagavad Gita. 5 factors. Can somebody tell what are the 5 factors which we learn from Bhagavad Gita?
Hello, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Actually, in Bhagavad Gita, we discussed 5 subject matters.
Yes.
First one is Ishvara, that is Bhagavan, Lord Krishna. Second one is the living entity Jivas, and the third one is the eternal time, that is time Kala. Then fourth one is the karma, that is the actions which we perform and the result of that actions. And fifth one is the Prakriti, that is third one is the Prakriti, that is the material nature, material nature. Out of these 5 things, except karma, all the other things are eternal. Karma alone is temporary, which can the effects can be changed or nullified by our constant devotional service and dedication to Lord Krishna.
Yes, very good.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
And About consciousness, somebody can say. We discussed last thing about consciousness.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, Krishna is conscious of all the bodies, but we
Yes.
are only conscious of our body.
Yes,
That's
that is
the
different. Yes.
difference between Jivatma and Paramatma.
Yes. And at no stage, the living
At
entity, the
any
Jiva can
point of
become.
time, so Paramatma. Nobody
Yes.
can become Paramatma.
Yes. That is
At
our
any given point.
constitutional position. That is our eternal constitutional position. That we will eternally remain as a tiny living entity, but we can associate with Krishna directly as his personal associates. That potency we have got.
Correct, Prabhu.
Okay.
Prabhu, also this material world is dependent. It is not independent.
Yes,
It
it
is
is under the
always
control
dependent.
of Krishna. Yes, material
Krishna.
nature is working under the control of Krishna, and it is constituted of the three modes of material nature.
Yeah.
Okay. And who are the people who think that there is no controller? This world is working independently on its own. There comes
Mayavadis and less
intelligent
less
people.
intelligent people.
Less intelligent. Prabhupada is giving
Less
like example of a child.
child.
And we also discussed the Kupamanduka, the frog inside the well.
Inside the well,
So those who are like that frog inside the well, or those who are like undeveloped intelligence, childish, they may think that there is no God, there is no controller.
Yes.
Ignorant people, Prabhu.
Ignorant.
Ignorant people, yes. Insane, ignorant people. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for joining. So we will again connect tomorrow. Tomorrow also we'll have the class. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare
Very much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.